All right, guys, it is Monday, June 6, 2022. And we're coming off a 4-1 day in my 5 personal sports bets on patreon.com/Brock Page yesterday. That's also going to put us at 3-0 in our last 3 $1.99 daily best plays on that website as well. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on patreon.com/Brock Page. I have packages on that website starting at just $1.99. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. What I do on patreon.com/Brock Page is actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. I currently have over 660 members who are signed up and active on my safe and secure website right now. And if you want to see my current sports betting record, you can do that for free right now by going to the home page. Now, guys, real quick, if you do end up getting a package here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way through the end of June. It's not just a day pass. You're going to get access to that content for a really long time. And as an added bonus, all the cheaper memberships that I offer on my website, they're also going to be included with your purchase. And speaking of purchasing, if you're concerned about me seeing your credit card information or any of your personal information for that matter, just keep in mind, guys, that I utilize the Patreon platform. Now, Patreon is a massive crowdfunding website. It's very similar to OnlyFans. And so I actually don't see any of your credit card info or any of your personal information. That's all handled by Patreon. There's no way for me to see that. All I see is your name and email address. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the D-backs taking on the Reds. 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Cincinnati's minus $1.25, totals 9.5. Hunter Green for Cincinnati, Madison Bumgarner for Arizona. And even though Mad Bum's got a losing record, he's actually shown some pretty good stuff this year. He's got a 3.31 ERA along with a 1.20 whip. The D-backs have also played the Reds very well in recent meetings. They're averaging nearly 6 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head contests. Christian Walker's hit 14 home runs and drove in 26. Meanwhile, Varsho, Peralta, and Smith, they all have over 22 RBI apiece, respectively. Now, they're taking on a Reds club who lost their last 3 straight. They find themselves 17 games below 500. When it comes to the hitting, the Reds are actually in the bottom 10 in the majors right now in team batting average. Now, pitching-wise, Hunter Green's been pretty bad this season. He's just 2-7 with a 6.19 ERA and a 1.52 whip. The Cincinnati pitching staff also allows more home runs per game than any other team in the majors. Now, total-wise, the Reds are 17-8 to the over in their own stadium. Meanwhile, Arizona's 60% to the over when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward Arizona plus 105. And the over 9.5. All right, next ball game. It is going to be Rangers Guardians, 7:10 p.m. East. Cleveland's minus $1.15, totals 9. Cal Quantrill for Cleveland, John Gray for Texas. Now, Johnny Gray's got just 1 win on the year through 41 innings of work. He also comes into today's ball game with an ERA above 4.80. And even if Johnny does have a good outing here today, the Rangers have actually had a tough time getting on base. They have one of the lowest team batting averages in the American League. They're taking on Cal Quantrill here today, who's had a handful of respectable starts. Cal's got himself a 3.52 ERA along with a 1.19 whip. When it comes to hitting the baseball, this Cleveland lineup is leading the majors in fewest strikeouts at the dish. Jose Ramirez has 14 home runs along with 53 RBI. Ramirez is actually in the top 5 in the bigs right now in home runs, RBI, and OPS. Meanwhile, Andres Jimenez is hitting .307 with 29 runs batted in. When it comes to the total, Cleveland's gone 60% to the under in their last 10 outings. They also saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with Texas fall under the total. Meanwhile, the Rangers are currently 15-9 to the under as the official road team. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland minus $1.15 in the under 9. Next matchup, Mariners Astros 8:10 p.m. East. Houston's minus $1.55, totals 8. Christian Javier for Houston, Robbie Ray for Seattle. Now Ray comes into today's ball game with a losing record. The lefty's 4-6 with a .493 ERA. The Seattle lineup is also having a tough time putting runners across the plate. They're currently in the bottom 10 in the majors in scoring on average per contest. They're taking on Christian Javier on the other side, who's looked real good in the first half of the season. Javier's got a .241 ERA and a 1.07 whip. The righty's also got himself a bunch of strikeouts on the year. He's fanned 52 batters in just 41 innings of work. And even if Javier ends up struggling, he's backed by a Houston lineup who hits a whole bunch of home runs. They're actually leading the bigs right now in homers per contest at the plate. Yordan Alvarez has 16 round trippers on the season. He's in the top 5 right now in home runs and OPS. Meanwhile, Jose Altuve has double-digit home runs himself. When it comes to the total in this one, oddly enough, the Astros are 15-5 to the under at Minute Maid Park. They're also 39-15 to the under for the entire season at any location. Meanwhile, Seattle's gone 60% to the under in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Houston minus 155, under 8. Next matchup, it is going to be Blue Jays taking on the Royals. That's going to be an 8:10 Eastern start time in Kauffman Stadium. Toronto's minus 175 on the road, totals 9.5. Ross Stripling for Toronto, Daniel Lynch for Kansas City. Now, Lynch is just 2-4 on the year with an ERA above .480. He also comes into today's contest with a whip of 1.56. When it comes to offensive production, the Royals have one of the worst performing lineups in the American League. These guys are scoring just 3.8 runs a game, and they're nearly dead last in the majors in homers per 9. They're taking on a Toronto club on the other side of things who actually does a nice job getting on base themselves. Toronto's in the top 10 in offensive OPS, and they're led by Vlad Guerrero, who's got a dozen home runs and 29 RBI. And speaking of runs batted in, George Springer leads the club with 30 of them. Now, pitching-wise, Ross Stripling has just 1 loss through 32 innings of work. He's also struck out 29 batters during that stretch. When it comes to the total in this one, 9 out of Toronto's last 10 ball games got over the posted number. Meanwhile, Kansas City went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Toronto minus 175 and the over 9.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Red Sox Angels 9:38 East. The LA Angels are minus $1.25, totals 9. Noah Syndergaard for Los Angeles, Michael Wacha for Boston. Now Wacha's having a good year in Boston. He's 3-1 with a .243 ERA and a 1.01 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Bo Sox are doing a great job at the dish. They're in the top 3 in team batting average. And they're led by Rafael Devers, who has a dozen home runs, and bats .341. Meanwhile, J.D. Martinez, he's leading the club in batting average as he's hitting .353. And no real surprise here, guys. The Bo Sox are amongst the best scoring teams in the American League right now. They're taking on a struggling Angels organization who just lost their 11th straight. I'll tell you what, they strike out an awful lot at the plate as well. Matter of fact, LA is currently in the bottom 3 in the majors in strikeouts per 9 at the dish. And even though Noah Syndergaard does have a winning record on the season, Thor does come into today's ball game with an ERA above 4. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this ball game here, 7 out of LA's last 10 contests got over the number. Meanwhile, Boston, on the other side of things, saw their last 3 straight road games get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Boston plus 105. And the over 9 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Mets Padres. That's going to be a 9:40 Eastern start time. San Diego is minus 120, total 7.5. Blake Snell for the Padres, Carlos Carrasco for New York. Now, Carrasco's having a great year thus far. He's 6-1 with a 3.63 ERA and 51 strikeouts. The Mets have also won 18 games on the road already. They arguably have the best lineup in the league. These guys are currently leading the majors in team batting average, and they're averaging a whole bunch of runs per contest. Now, Pete Alonso, he's hit 16 home runs. He also has 54 RBI. He's actually the league leader in that RBI category. Meanwhile, Jeff McNeil's leading the club in batting average while hitting .311. The Mets are taking on Blake Snell here today, who's yet to record a win on the year. Snell's 0-2 with an ERA above 4.75. And hitting-wise, the bats really have been kind of cold for most of the season for these guys. San Diego currently finds themselves in the bottom 10 in team OPS, and they've struggled hitting the long ball. Now, total-wise, San Diego's 17-6 to the under at Petco Park. Meanwhile, New York saw 3 out of their last 4 road games fall under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the New York Mets plus $1 and the under 7.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where I'm currently 3-0. My last 3 $1.99 daily best plays on that website. I like Arizona plus 105 over 9.5 against Cincinnati. Give me Cleveland minus $1.15 and the under against Texas. I like Houston minus 155 under 8 runs against Seattle. Give me Toronto minus 175 over 9.5 against Kansas City. I like Boston plus 105 over 9 runs versus the Angels. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that if you sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on my website, you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way through the end of June. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the New York Mets plus $1 and the under 7.5 against the Padres. With that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, real quick, if you want to access every single bet, every single membership on my website, you may want to think about accessing my board member tier. Not only do board members get access to the board member tier package bet itself, you actually get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, all the way through the end of June. The board member package is an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, and in addition to that, I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.